Hello, 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 and welcome back to Spin Cycle Live. I'm your host, Nathan Hale. Today, we are back with another episode. Today is Thursday, October 2nd. Happy October, everyone. It is October 2nd, 2025. We're in season 3 of Spin Cycle Live, this amazing, wonderful, awesome show that you all are watching right now. We are live on YouTube, X, and Rumble right now. Make sure you're following us on all those platforms so you never miss an episode or you never miss future content coming out. I have stuff planned for YouTube. It's in the works right now. You're not going to want to miss it. So hoping to get more into a rhythm of getting content out to you all. I'm slowly figuring it out, right? As you're watching me develop as a content creator on the internet for you all, and it's a slow process, but I appreciate you all sticking around with me. And yeah, we have so much to cover today. We have Kilmar Abrego Garcia is back in the news today. We have free speech under attack once again. I have a lot to talk about in a monologue for that. And we have a government shutdown yet again in the United States, folks. It seems like it's a continuing trend that every year we have a government shutdown because our government cannot pass a continuing resolution to continue spending. More of that to come very shortly. But yes, this will be the last show of the week. We'll be back here again on Tuesday and Thursday, once again next week. But yeah, without further ado, I guess let's get right into our very first episode, or a very first story today. So this first story comes from the New York Post. So judge rejects Kilmar Abrego Garcia's bid to reopen case lets removal order stand. So if you don't remember, Kilmar Abrego Garcia became the poster child for criminals everywhere when the Democrats just pushed him to the mainstream and decided that they wanted him to be the hill that they metaphorically died on. And it's what is proven to me, and I think there's so many other folks out there, that the Democrat Party really is the party of criminals. It really is. They're the party who defends literal criminals like Kilmar Abrego Garcia to stay in the United States and not get deported out of our country. So let's read what this article has to say. So the final order of removal against illegal immigrant and accused MS-13 gang member Kilmar Abrego Garcia will stand after an immigration judge rejected a motion from his attorneys to reopen the case Wednesday. By the way, I'd just like to know, where is he getting all this money from to be paying all these attorneys? I feel like this is a long legal process happening here. These attorneys aren't cheap. Who's funding this guy is what I want to know. So in August, Abrego Garcia's attorneys had petitioned to reopen the case due to fears that he was at risk of imminent removal to Uganda. Yeah, I would be scared to go back to Uganda too, frankly. I don't blame the guy for wanting to stay in the United States. Uganda's not a nice country. After the Department of Homeland Security notified them that he may get deported to the African country. The word may is permissive, Regional Deputy Chief Immigration Judge Philip Taylor wrote in his opinion. Quote, it indicates that the court that is sending this notification to respondents' counsel, the department sought to convey that it reserved the right to remove him to Uganda, not necessarily that it intends to do so, that it had decided to do so, or that it would do so immediately. Abrego Garcia's attorneys had argued in their motion that their client was eligible to apply for asylum in the U.S. because he had been deported to El Salvador and then brought back earlier this year to face federal human trafficking charges in Tennessee, to which he has pled not guilty. Taylor disagreed, ruling the motion was untimely because it was filed close to 6 years after initial litigation over Abrego Garcia's illegal entrance to the U.S., well past the required 90-day deadline. In their August motion, attorneys for Abrego Garcia contended that he could face torture or death from the government of El Salvador due to public accusations that he's an MS-13 gang member. I'm sure he could in El Salvador. Taylor rejected that argument as well, deeming the evidence insufficient. Quote, Respondent also does not indicate that the guards made any statements or otherwise indicated that they believed him or the other deportees to be gang members, so they do not appear to have imputed MS-13 gang membership with him. Inputted. The judge wrote, notably, while prison officials interrogated respondent about his alleged gang membership and took pictures of his tattoos, they did not mistreat him during the interrogation. DHS cheered this decision, quote, with today's ruling, Kilmar Abrego Garcia's final order of removal stands. The MS-13 gang member, human trafficker, domestic abuser, and child predator will never be loose on America's streets, DHS wrote. His lawyers tried to fight his removal from the U.S., but one thing is certain, the El Salvadorian man is not going to be able to remain in our country. He will never be allowed to prey on innocent Americans again. And the Democratic Party across the board champion having, once again, an MS-13 gang member, human trafficker, domestic abuser, and child predator in our country. This is the perspective that the Democratic Party elite want to hold, and it gets passed down to the individual voters. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. So I'm glad to see that this guy is out of our country. Get him out of here. You're fired, Kilmar Abrego Garcia. Go home. Go back to where you came from. See ya. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. I hope he has a happy life living not in my country. Get him out of here. So I'm glad to see that this story seems to have finally come to a close. All right. Let's move on. So the government has shut down. And whose fault really is it? So the left would like you to believe that's Republicans' faults. Republicans would like you to believe that's Democrats' faults. But whose fault really is it? Well, it's Democrats. It frankly is the Democrats. I'll tell you why. So what happens every year in Congress is by October 1st, a budget needs to be passed. Right? The government needs to know where spending is going, what's being used, what's going on. Right? Now, this date does not change. It's the same day every year. Same date. And so what ends up happening is Congress sits on their hands until the last minute. Instead of actually doing their job, they pass a continuing resolution, which basically just continues spending how it was the previous year. Right? So they're like, we need more time to figure this out. This whole year that we had was not long enough. We need more time. Right? It's like getting extra time on your exam. You're like, I couldn't finish the questions in time. I need more time. So that's what Congress asked for. So the Republicans proposed a continuing resolution that wasn't that bad, to be perfectly honest with you. And the Democrats were like, gosh darn it, no, we are not going to do this. So Democrats in the Senate filibustered the bill. Now what happens when a bill gets filibustered is you need 60 votes now to pass the bill, is my understanding. And since Republicans only have, 53 votes in the Senate, they need a few more to get it through. So here's the contention. So Democrats are saying that Republicans shut down the government. But last I checked, there were almost all the Democrats in the Senate voted against the continuing resolution, and it was their votes that caused it not to go through, thus shutting the government down, right? All the Republicans voted for the CR. So, yes, it's Democrats' fault the government is shut down. It 100% is their fault. Now, I blame Congress as a whole for even getting to the point where we're passing a CR in the first place. We should just be passing a budget at this point. Not a CR, a budget. We need a budget. So, frankly, everyone is somewhat at fault in all of this. Republicans, in my opinion, are at fault for not just getting a budget through. Just get a budget through. That's all we want. We just want the budget. Just put the budget through. Instead, we're talking about CRs, which are not a budget, and it's just a mess. It's just a mess. So, needless to say, the government is shut down. And this gives Trump a lot of power that he did not previously have when the government was open. So, you're fired. Trump to meet with Russ Vought to determine shutdown cuts. President Donald Trump will meet Tuesday with Office of Management and Budget Director Russ Voigt to decide which left-wing projects and personnel to cut during the shutdown. Quote, I have a meeting today with Russ Voigt, he of Project 2025 fame, to determine which of the many Democrat agencies, most of which are a political scam, he recommends to be cut, and whether or not those cuts will be temporary or permanent, Trump wrote Thursday morning. Trump has said he plans to use the government shutdown to cut unnecessary programs and benefits from the federal government. Voigt told House Republicans Monday that reductions in force could start in the next 2 days. Fantastic! Fantastic! So Voigt said cuts will begin with areas that fall outside the administration's priorities, a source similar with the call told the Daily Signal. Quote, I can't believe the radical left Democrats gave me this unprecedented opportunity, Trump wrote on Truth. Quote, they are not stupid people, so maybe this is their way of wanting to quietly and quickly make America great again. On Monday, Voigt cut $8 billion in Green New Scam funding to fuel the left's climate agenda. In 16 dark blue states, California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Hawaii, Illinois, Maryland, Massachusetts, Minnesota, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, Oregon, Vermont, and Washington. He also froze $18 million for 2 infrastructure projects in New York City to ensure funding is not flowing based on unconstitutional diversity, equity, and inclusion principles. This is great. Slash it, slash it, slash it, slash it. We need less funding. We need less spending. Slash it, slash. I'm all here for it. I'm all here for it. Less spending. Let's do it. Slash it, right? I'm front row to the budget cuts. Can I go to the budget cut meetings? Can I watch them cut the federal budget? And can I do it while eating pork rinds? That's what I want to know. Can I get a ticket to that? I would pay good money to go see that. So, Democrats are all concerned about programs being cut. They wanted the government to... They didn't want to pass the continuing resolution because they wanted to basically shut down the big beautiful bill. They wanted to give illegal aliens free health care, and they wanted to give illegals free government services, right? And that's what they wanted. And that's insane. There's no way they were going to get that, and they knew they were going to get that, so they decided to shut the government down because they weren't getting their way, because they're throwing a temper tantrum. Just as they threw a temper tantrum in Texas when Texas redistricted and they all left the state to go to Illinois to protest redistricting, right? They're throwing a temper tantrum once again to shut the government down. And this is truly what I wanted to get into the show, is when we have issues on the right, we work through them, right? We pass a CR, we try to do what we can, and we don't throw temper tantrums. When things get bad in our states, we don't leave them, we don't abandon them to go hide out somewhere else. We stay, and we fight for what we believe in. That's not what Democrats do. What Democrats do is they silence voices, they flee their states, they pass the buck on to someone else, and they deny empirical truths. And that is our next story here. So Texas Attorney General to step in after College axes Turning Point USA event featuring detransitioner. So Chloe Cole announced that the event would still be held, but would move to a venue off campus. Chloe Cole, if you don't know who she is, amazing individual. She transitioned to be male when she was very young. She very much regrets it now. She's kind of taken the public stage to tour across the country and speak out against child transition, child mutilation, and just transgenderism as a whole. She's a great person. And I have watched a lot of her speeches. She does really, really good stuff. She's kind of in the vein of Riley Gaines. Riley Gaines is very much touring the country, speaking out against men and women's sports. And she's been very influential in getting legislation passed in many states. Chloe Cole's also been very influential in getting legislation passed in states as well as nationwide. So let's read what's going on with her. So Texas Republican Attorney General Ken Paxton announced on Wednesday that he planned to investigate reports that Texas Christian University had canceled a planned Turning Point USA event. The event was initially scheduled to be held on the TCU campus as part of the tour the group's late founder, Charlie Kirk, began before his assassination on September 10th, and was to feature detransitioner Chloe Cole. But Chloe announced that her event was canceled just a week before it was set to take place. Cole posted a short thank you to Hillsdale College, where she'd spoken recently, thanking them for speaking positively of her recent appearance rather than canceling the event out from under her. Quote, the first college to actually thank me for speaking on their campus instead of canceling me like TCU did. Christian colleges and otherwise need to step up and keep democracy and free speech alive in the wake of Charlie Kirk's assassination, Cole posted. She followed that with an updated flyer showing that the TPUSA event was still on, but would be moved nearby to Bircham Baptist College, also located in Fort Worth. When people asked Cole what had happened, she explained that TCU chapter Turning Point USA had found a room on campus to hold the event, and despite determining it was available for the requested time, the college denied them access to it. Quote, they denied the local Turning Point USA chapter's sick request to have me on campus on the 7th, even though the room was free. They didn't give a real reason why, she said. Dallas Express reported Carlos Torricos also noted that the event had been canceled, and his post caught Paxton's attention. This doesn't look like free speech to me. I'm going to look into this, he said. So, my thoughts on this. So, Texas Christian University is a private university. They have the right to decide who comes on and speaks and uses their campus facilities and who doesn't, right? I don't think anyone's denying that. The issue that I have more so is I'm not a fan of this whole, we're going to accept your request to come on and speak, and we have a room available, but a week before your event schedule, we're going to cancel it. We're going to cancel it out from under you, right? Texas Christian University. If you don't want conservative speakers speaking at your Christian university, if you don't want people like Chloe Cole speaking at your Christian university, then don't accept the event request from one of your student organizations and then cancel it a week before it's scheduled to happen, or else you're going to face consequences of it. And frankly, I think it is disgusting, and it is a lack of free speech, in my opinion. This campus agreed to allow her to come and speak, right? They allowed her to come on, but then they're canceling it a week before. Why even agree in the first place if you're going to cancel it a week before? That's what I'm not a fan of. I don't have an issue of colleges saying, nope, we don't want you on here, Chloe Cole, go somewhere else, right? All right, fine, good, we'll go somewhere else. That's fine, all good, you're a private campus. You know, we can't force us to come onto your property, use your facilities and everything to speak. If you don't want us, that's fine. But don't accept her to come on and then cancel it a week before the event. That's just ridiculous, in my opinion. And I think we need to have consequences for universities doing things like this, especially when they don't have a valid reason, right? They provided her with no valid reasoning. And this happened to Charlie Kirk all the time. Universities would either deny him access to a room, or they would say last minute that the event was going to be canceled, or that there was a fire safety issue, or any reasons out there they would find to manipulate his campus tours. This is nothing new. And I would just like to say, does this happen to leftists when they go onto college campuses? Does this happen to CNN commentators? Does this happen to left-wing political influencers? I don't think so. And I want to show I want to show some comparison. I will in just a second. Let me speak about this last story here, and then we'll go into all of that. So we have another event that was canceled. So NYU blocks October 7th campus talk by Jewish conservative, citing security concerns. So backlash is mounting against New York University after its law school decided to block an on-campus event with conservative Jewish legal analyst Ayla Shapiro, which was scheduled for the anniversary of Hamas's October 7th, 2023 attack. Can't believe this has already been going on for 2 years. It's insane. 2 years have just flown by. I feel like I started doing this show around October 7th, 2023. I feel like it wasn't very long afterwards that we've been doing this. So it's almost been... Has it really almost been like 2 years since we've been doing this show? It can't be. It can't be. It had to have been... I had to have started the show in 2024. I don't think it was 2023. Has it really been that long? I don't think so. I'll have to look into that. I actually don't know how long I've been doing this show for. I'll have to look at our first upload. So the university's Federalist Society chapter had planned to host Shapiro for a midday discussion, but the event was canceled after NYU administrators stepped in. It's always the administrators, right? This has been scheduled for a while, and it's the administrators catch wind of what's going on, and it's always the administrators. The administrators ruin everything. So the group asked to host Shapiro on a different date due to security reasons, and because the university said it was anticipating an increased likelihood of demonstrators and protests connected to the anniversary of October 7, 2023 incidents in Gaza. According to emails shared with Fox News Digital, the request was later turned into a refusal to permit the event during the week of October 7th anniversary. Once again, I like to point out here, security risks, right? Do leftists have to deal with security risks when they go to college campuses? I don't think so. There are increased protests happening on campus that could make it dangerous for a Jewish student to be speaking out on your campus. It doesn't sound like this is the fault of the Jewish students. It sounds like this is an issue of the protests. Maybe you need to get your protesters under control who are causing dangerous climates for Jewish students on your campus, NYU, instead of canceling the events of Jewish students at your university. So the full letter is here in the article if you want to read it. So, quote, "This is not a decision based on the proposed program or speaker, but rather based on an obligation to provide enhanced security generally on campus during the week, as well as resource committees we have already made." Oh, BS. Oh, BS. Made on September 17th email from Megan McDermott, NYU's Associate Dean for Academic and Faculty Affairs. Quote, "For the sake of clarity and for future planning purposes, I do not know that anyone has any information suggesting that your proposed event would be subject to disruption or protest specifically related to the anniversary of October 7th hostage taking." Shapiro had planned to discuss his upcoming book at the NYU event, in which he points that the nation's top law school had been captured by an illiberal and ideological regime that fosters radicalism and supports ideological conformity over debate and inquiry. This shift, Shapiro argues, weakens cultural institutions guardrailing protesting free speech on campuses. Quote, "There could be a more on-the-nose example of weak university officials in the face of a heckler's veto than this farce," Shapiro said to a statement to Fox News Digital. Quote, "I'd rather be happy to give NYU's dean a copy of my book so he can do the work of learning how to be an effective and principled leader." A spokesperson from NYU's law school, Michael Orey, told Fox News Digital that NYU did not cancel the Federalist Society event, but rather requested they have another date to host Shapiro. Quote, "We did not cancel an appearance by Mr. Shapiro when the student organization organizing the event request a classroom on October 7th. They were informed they could not accommodate them on that date, and we subsequently suggested alternative dates," said Orr. "Mr. Shapiro is welcome to come speak here at NYU Law and has appeared here in the past. We remain willing to work with students to find a time for him to do so in the future." Quote, I was grateful to the NYU students for inviting me to discuss my book and the crisis in higher education. I've enjoyed speaking there in the past and was looking forward to for a lively discussion of important issues, Shapiro said. But alas, the law school administration caved to the threat of bigoted protests. God forbid there be a conservative Jewish speaker on October 7th. Shapiro posted on X that the Federalist Society will instead host Shapiro at an off-campus location alongside 2 federal judges and the former head of the American Civil Liberties Union, Nadine Strossen. All right. So let's break this down a little bit. So this gentleman wants to go, he's a Jewish conservative, and he wants to go speak at a law school on October 7th, the anniversary of the worst attack on the Jewish people since World War II, mind you. And the university says you can't because there's a safety issue because we're anticipating protests coming to the campus. So let me ask you this. Is this an issue with the speaker or is this an issue with the protesters? Because I would argue it's an issue with the protesters. If you can't have a lively speaker coming to your campus who's Jewish without the threat of them being attacked by protesters, you have an issue with protesters coming to your campus. You got to do something about that. That's not his fault. He just wants to come and talk about his book on October 7th. It's this university's fault for allowing violent protests to partake on their campus, right? They need to get that under control. That's the issue here, not a speaker coming to the campus. And the cop-out from NYU to say, well, he can come back and speak on any other day if he wants to, just not October 7th. There's so many things wrong with that. First off, why? Why shouldn't he be allowed to go there on October 7th? Why can't he talk on October 7th? Why can't he, as a Jewish American, speak about the worst attack on Jews since World War II on a college campus on the day that it happened? Why not? Because of the violent protest. That's why. That NYU doesn't want to do anything about. Okay. So let's just say, okay, rescheduling is fine. Okay. These people are busy. You know they have these things planned out like months in advance, right? These are not last-minute decisions they are made. They plan out these tour stops well in advance. So for NYU, you say, oh, you come back on a different day. Well, there might not be a different day available for months, depending on this guy's schedule, right? You think about Ben Shapiro, for example, right? Ben Shapiro is a big-time Jewish commentator. He goes and he speaks on college campuses all the time, right? He's a busy guy. He does a daily show, Monday through Friday. He's doing content that goes up 7 days a week. He's touring the country. When he goes on tour, he goes to several different stops at one time. You can't just say, oh, let's reschedule for a different day. He doesn't live in New York. He lives in Florida. He can't just, go there on a different day. He's got other tour stops scheduled. I'm sure that this gentleman here who is going to NYU has other stops planned out as well. It's just disgusting that we live in a world where conservatives cannot go and speak in a public forum at our beacons of education in this country without the fear of being attacked, without the fear of protests happening around them, without the fear of being shot. It's absolutely disgusting, and you cannot convince me that it is not a problem from the left. It is. It is 100% a problem from the left. The right is not at fault for the current state of political violence in our country, for the current state of violence in general in our country. It is the left who has put in place an incentive structure that props up criminals in our country. It is the left who tries to keep illegal immigrants, illegal aliens in our country, who are predators, who are abusers, who are human traffickers. It is the left who has soft on crime policies. It is the left who cheers when one of our own gets shot. It is the left that spits on memorials. It is the left who cheers on social media about being happy that an individual has died. And it is the left that does not condone this type of behavior. If you are a Democrat political leader, Why are you not out here saying no, NYU? This is absolutely wrong. You need to do something about this. Why is it only our side that's saying something about this? Why is it that we have Democrat leaders on the left who say, oh, you know, it's really bad that Charlie Kirk was just shot, but the next day they all forget about it, right? Why is that? Why is it Democrat leaders who are complaining when we lower a flag half-mast for one of our nation's greatest thought leaders in this country? That should not be a political thing, right? If Ketanji Brown Jackson was killed, Supreme Court leader, liberal Supreme Court justice, if she was killed, I hope it does not happen. I hope it doesn't. I do not condone it at all. Nobody should live in fear. But God forbid if something happened to her, I would not have a moment's hesitation saying we should lower the flag for her. I would not have a moment's hesitation saying that we should have memorials for her. I would not have a moment's hesitation saying that we should not cheer on her death. But yet this is the incentive structure the left has put together. This is the incentive structure that this side believes that they can live under. And this is why the left has moved. If this is the political spectrum right here, and this is the center, right? We have the right over here. We have the left over here, right? That window has moved. So now people who were moderate liberals or who were, you know, fully liberals, they're now conservatives. And now the left is really only made up of these super far leftist individuals, right? Versus our side is made up of a coalition, right? We have people like me who are gay, who are now on the right. We have people like Tulsi Gabbard, former vice chair of the DNC, who are now on the right. We have people like Bobby Kennedy, who are now on the right. Donald Trump, for God's sake, is on the right. Look at what has happened to our party. And tell me with a straight face, it is not the left's fault that we are at this point in our country. You can't. Every single statistic points to the left being the proponents of violence in this country. The left is the one who puts in place the incentive structures that allow for crime to happen in the United States. The left is the one who champions criminals in our country. We've talked about it time and time again on this show, and I have some videos to show you to further send that point home. I will show you this. So this is a left-wing influencer. His name is Destiny. He is at a event at a college, and you're going to notice something. I'm not even going to play you the audio clip. I'm not going to play you what he's talking about. What I want to show you is he's sitting on stage. I see one police officer, one university cop off to the side. What does Destiny not have? Destiny does not have a bulletproof vest. He does not have an army of security around him. He has conservatives coming up and speaking within, looks like about 6 to 8 feet of where he's sitting. Reasonably. Not screaming at him. Having lively discussions. Not being violent with him. Not throwing concrete milkshakes at him, not throwing rocks at him, not spitting at him, not screaming at him, not telling him to go to hell for what he believes in. Destiny is one of the most leftist influencers on the internet. This is the man who, frankly, was not at all upset that Donald Trump was almost shot. This is a man who, frankly, is a vile human being. No security at all around him. Liberals don't need him. I'll keep playing as I'm talking.
College Park's fucking life matters!
Oh, I'm sorry.
Kirk's fans want revenge. What do we do? And
you know what's so interesting as a black man? One thing I noticed about Charlie Kirk's death, there wasn't rioting in the streets like it was after George Floyd. That's the one thing that I noticed about Charlie Kirk's death. And it's so interesting that you want to cherry pick and nitpick and use odd examples that benefit you, but you deliberately want to have blind vision to see that the radical left ideology that has been influencing this country for the past 20 years led to the death of Charlie Kirk.
Why did the DOJ remove from their website the study on radical, politically inspired violence over the past decade? Why did they take that down?
I have no knowledge.
You don't know anything about that?
No? Okay. I have no knowledge.
I think transgenders should be able to own guns.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. It's
You
an
guess?
Second Amendment right, yeah.
You
sure.
guess?
It's a Second Amendment right, no?
Why do they keep on shooting fucking schools then?
Well, aren't the most
Them,
school
they, whatever
shooters
the
white
fuck you
guys?
wanna
Do you
call
think
it,
white
why
men
the
should be
fuck?
disallowed from owning guns?
Do you think that being transgender is a mental illness?
I don't have an opinion
Do
on it
you
for this audience
think-
right now.
Do you
Do
think
you think most school shooters were white men?
it's all part of the narrative, dude?
Yeah, there's the narrative.
It's
is you
all
not
part of the
answering my
narrative,
question.
and you
Yeah,
know it.
Go ahead, preach. We're in church
You
right
know
now.
it.
Go ahead.
Destiny goes to schools and gets cooked by conservatives. But he gets cooked not because he needs security. He doesn't have conservatives throwing rocks at him. He has conservatives cooking him because of their words that they're saying. Because they're right. Because they're absolutely right. And it is I'm grateful that despite how much I disagree with Destiny, that he doesn't need security. He doesn't need security to go on campuses. He's good. He doesn't need it. He can go and speak his mind and say whatever BS he wants to purport on college campuses, whatever, frankly, vile things he wants to say, without the need for security. I want to compare this to a video that came out just recently. And I'm not even trying to debunk what he's saying or what these speakers are saying coming to his events. I just want you to see the climate is different. It's different for liberals. They can go to these campuses and be fine. They don't need security. Let me show you this video.
And everyone told me that this, in today's climate, could not be done unless I took unbelievable precautions, unless it was absolutely kept a secret until mere hours before the event as a pop-up, unless I literally brought an army with me and bulletproofed the entire radius, which is exactly what we did. And so today, for the first time in many years, Change My Mind returns, and back to one of the places where it all began, Southern Methodist University in Dallas, Texas. And everyone told me that this, in today's climate, could not be done unless I took...
So Steven Crowder is back on college campuses. He posted this video yesterday, and part 2 of his conversations are up on YouTube right now. You can watch them. I've watched both of them. They're solid. They're solid conversations that he had. He came in with facts. He came in with reasoning. He talked to some actually rational people for once, which was interesting to see. But I want to point out, look at the climate difference here. So here's Destiny sitting on a stage, no security other than this one cop back there. I mean, there might be people off camera, but he certainly does not have a bulletproof vest on. He certainly does not have bulletproof glass around him. He's inside, and the fear for his life is just, frankly, it's not there. It's not there because conservatives don't go and shoot people. But yet it's here with Steven Crowder. Why? Why? What's the difference? Because people want to go and shoot Steven Crowder. People have doxed Steven Crowder in the internet. People have put threats on his life. People have shown up at his house. Now, I'm not the biggest advocate for Steven Crowder as just a human being in general, but no human should have to put on a bulletproof vest like him, should have to have bulletproof glass around them, should have to wait until literal hours before the event takes place to announce it's even happening, to have security around him constantly, to have an army of people there, to have tens of thousands of dollars spent just to do a single event on a campus. No one should have to do that, regardless of their political opinions. Regardless if you're a socialist, a communist, a conservative, or a liberal, should not have to have this kind of security around you. We don't do that in America. This is not how we are as a country. Here's another video to show you. Now, these guys are a little bit smaller. This is at a university. Where was? Let me show you this video. I'll show you with the sound. So this is at Union Station in Washington, D.C. Take a look at this.
Here's the light. Here's the light.
Stop. Oh. I'm stupid. Oh. Back the fuck up. I don't want to fight. Stop.
Here's the light. Here's the light.
Stop.
So this individual sneaks in just to grab this guy's MAGA hat and go off with it. And she gets maced? That looks like it was mace or pepper spray or something. Which, by the way, this girl had to have been on something. I've never seen anyone walk away so casually like that from being maced before. This is bad this is happening. I'm just fine, though, of someone getting maced. These people need to learn that we are showing up, and when we do events like this, we're going to fight back if you try and attack us, right? For so long, we've had rock stars, we've been spit on, we've had our tables turned over and everything. If you physically attack someone like this, these people need to learn, yeah, we do have mace, and we will mace you if you do that. But my point is, this doesn't happen to Destiny. This doesn't happen to Dean Withers, Harry Sisson, the Un-F America tour. Remember when that happened briefly earlier this year for like all 5 minutes? This doesn't happen to those people when they go to campuses. They don't have this fear of being attacked, right? I don't know a single conservative, I don't know a single person on my side who would go and steal a Kamala Harris hat off of someone's head just for wearing it. Go and sneak in and knock over their chair like this. It's just insane. But guess what? Actions like this will not get included in political violence statistics. The George Floyd riots did not get included in political violence statistics. There are so many instances where we've had actual political violence, but it's not actually included in the statistics. It's not. Why is that? It's because the reporting is off. And this is why the left can get away with saying, oh, the right is actually more violent. Well, no, actually, it is the left, and we do have facts to prove that. But there's events like this here just to show you. This doesn't happen to liberals when they go on campuses. It just doesn't happen to them. These guys are just having a regular debate. This person could have just kept walking. But instead, she got involved. And she chose crime and violence instead of just kept walking along. How many times I've seen liberals on my campus doing stuff and I've just kept walking? So many times. So many times. More times than I can count. It's just important to think about. Do with that what you will. Consider it. And the next time you hear the left saying that conservatives are more politically violent, remember this. And show them videos like this. And tell them, hey, why is it that conservatives have to show up to campus with all the security and liberals don't? Why is that? Just as one data point. But overall, folks, other than what these last few things we were talking about, government being shut down might not be as bad as we think it's going to be. Kilmar Garcia is out of this country, or soon to be, hopefully. And, yeah. Well, folks, I hope you enjoyed this episode of the show. I know I have. I always like kind of having episodes where we look at a couple of stories, but then we really focus in on one thing in particular. And I really wanted to focus in on the lack of free speech, on political violence, and the way that conservatives are treated in the public eye through these institutions, the way that general people believe that we should be treated. It's important for me to show that. From Chloe Cole having her event canceled, from a Jewish conservative having his event canceled, to just conservatives being attacked on campus in general. It's important to show things like this. And I like when we have these episodes where I can really focus in on one of these topics in particular and really discuss it a lot with you all. So I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you thought of the episode. Send me a message on X, comment on this post, and share this show with friends. Let people know Nathan Hale right here has got the best opinions on the internet. We do shows not like other people out there. We really fly by the seat of our pants on this new show. I don't even know what we're going to be getting into until about half an hour before we record this show. It's very off the cuff. It's very, it's live with you all. It's live with you all. I read these stories at the same time you're reading them. I'm making my opinions right along there with you. Very little structure to the show, which is what I like about it. I think it sets it apart from other commentators on the internet, is that we don't have that structure. And I like just kind of doing what feels right and doing what feels timely with this show. So I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think about it. If you enjoy episodes like this, if you enjoy episodes that have more structure with them, let me know. I want to hear your thoughts. Share it with friends. Subscribe to us on all the major platforms. And with that, I've been Nathan Hale. This has been Spin Cycle Live. We'll see you all back here again on Tuesday next week. Enjoy your weekend. I hope you get into some fall time spirits. I hope you enjoy the pumpkin spice lattes and the fallness. Go get yourself a pumpkin. Go sit on a hay bale. Go do fall themed activities and festivities. Go watch some Halloweeny movies. And with that, I've been Nathan Hale. This has been Spin Cycle Live. Peace out.